Welcome back to another Pique Perspectives episode 3 with my boy Sailor Green
What's going
right
on?
here. And today is a very, very special episode that I'm very, very excited for. I got my two brokers right here, my brokers, my mentors at Realty Source, Crystal Hoover and Rachel Lewis. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Very happy to have y'all on today.
We love you, Devin. We're here. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. But yeah, Crystal, Realty Source, manager broker, partner with Rachel Lewis here locally, Virginia Beach.
Our very first podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome.
With our favorite.
Welcome to the
You
show.
already know. So let's go ahead and get into it. Crystal, how long have you been in the business, real estate, and same for you, Rachel? Just want to learn a little bit about y'all's journey, and I mean that's going to be the whole point of the episode. We just want to dive a little deep into that. So yeah, how long have you been in real estate?
Probably about 17 years or so, maybe a little more. When you get past a certain, you stop counting. But yeah, it's actually like 18 or like I said. Anyways, it's been a while. Been in real estate a while. Haven't been licensed the entire time. Originally started like back end scenes in that. I've been licensed, I guess, about 9 years. I'm like right after you.
Yeah.
Even though
11.
okay, we'll see.
I'll be 11.
I'm terrible with the time.
Mhm.
I'll be
So
11
about-
in July.
Yeah, about 10 years. So long time.
Okay.
Long time.
Been in it a long
Still counting
time.
mine.
All right. So when you started. So you started about 17, 18 years ago. Rachel, you started about 11 years ago. At what point did y'all decide to open up Realty Source? At what point were y'all like thinking about that? Like, kind of how did that all come about?
He skipped a little bit.
Well,
Whoa, y'all can talk. Yeah, no, y'all talk. Y'all, yeah,
He
you
jumped
tell.
a little bit.
Yeah, no,
there.
you tell me. I just kind of wanted to, like
It
I
was
said,
a
yeah.
journey. Like we both had separate journeys in the beginning. When we started real estate, we didn't start real estate together. Obviously, if I'm 17 and she's 11, but yeah, go ahead. Boo.
Well, when I started in real estate, I started as a individual agent on a team, and Crystal was like managing that brokerage at that time, and that's where we originally met.
Mhm.
So I was on a team there. Crystal ended up joining that same team.
Mhm.
And then things kind of changed there for a little bit, and then we kind of started our own team, and we started as a team, and then we started the brokerage 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So we had a team probably, goodness gracious, I don't
5
really know,
years,
about
maybe?
5 years we
4 or
ran a
5?
team.
Yeah.
And the team was successful, so the next step was starting a brokerage, which that was never our original goal.
Mhm.
None of it. We were like, I was fine being an independent
Yeah.
agent, so I can't really say this is where I was planning to end up at all. So it kind of just,
Yeah. It
was-
definitely took us there.
but yeah.
Well, no, that's perfect. So, like, I mean, so just going even further back to before y'all even got into real estate, before y'all, like, what were y'all doing? What forced y'all to want to get into real estate? What were y'all doing before? Just walk us through that.
Crystal was always in real estate.
I feel like I've always been in real estate.
Yeah.
Because I was younger, because I've been in it so long. So I had a lot of jobs, as everybody does in their 20s. Just aging myself a little bit. Worked at Bank of America, did government credit cards. My family was in trade shows and convention shows for 30 years. So they did a lot of that with connections there. I started bartending like on the weekends with the convention center and doing that. And I had a daughter. And then she was getting older in in elementary school, and you need more like Monday through Friday. We got homework to do, and I was preparing for that, and that's what transitioned me back into like office, Monday through Friday corporation jobs. And actually, it was a friend. I was just letting him know, hey, I'm trying to get back, out of this into that. And her guy friend was looking for somebody working office, and he was an investor, did subject to, and flips.
Mhm.
And so that's like, I had no idea about that. And it really wasn't even learning about that. It was more running the entire office for that. Right. And then he shut his business down, and right before the holidays gave me a severance. And so in between that time, I was looking, had mutual friends. They had sent my resume off, and I started with a team who grew with them to like a great big brokerage. Anyways, I kind of lost my point. Where we were going with that? Oh, where it started before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See, I told you.
So that's how that all started.
Yeah.
I had a lot of jobs, so it wasn't ever planned like real estate's what I'm doing. That's where I'm going. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, but we were kind of laughing and giggling because it was like, I think one of the questions you had on there was like, how did you know real estate was for you? Well, I mean, if I stop and think about like, well, what else would I do? There's not an answer. So real estate is definitely for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Here we
no,
are.
100%.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So I was in the restaurant industry for quite some time, probably 15 years. And before I got in real estate, I also worked at a tattoo shop there for a little bit.
Hey.
The main man, Ancient Art Tattoo, JD Crow.
Shout out JD Crow.
Shout out
Shout out
JD
JD Crow.
So I was there for at least 3 years with him and did a lot of his back office stuff too. And then one day, I just decided to go to real estate school. I didn't tell anybody because I wasn't sure if I was going to pass the test.
Mhm.
I was really scared I wasn't going to pass the test. I was like, I'm not telling anybody what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to just do this. I didn't want no bad vibes coming against me either. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I just did it and passed my test the first try.
Hey,
There it is.
yes, sir.
So-
That's hard to do. That's hard to do.
I didn't even know it was a big deal. That's pretty much how my whole beginning of real estate was. I didn't even know what I was doing was a big deal, really. So real estate's just kind of been natural, but yeah, that's where I got started. Oh, my grandmother passed away, and that's what really like kind of triggered me. I was like, I can't just stay in the restaurant business. I was getting a little older too, had children also, so kind of the same thing. You kind of needed a little more steady income. Wasn't really a 9-to-5 job ever, so I don't know if the schedule got any better.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
money got better. So
No, 100%. Okay. So, all right, what y'all did before, now we're just now entering real estate. And, how long was it before y'all made y'all's first sales? What really clicked in your brain where it was like, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this a little bit, and this is what I'm looking forward to doing.
So I got my license in July 14th, 2000. I'm joking, but for real, 2011, and 2014, sorry. And I closed on my first house in October. So I started where I was very thankful where I started at. I didn't have to like start with all this crazy training. I'm more of a hands-on learner. I was telling you this earlier. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I would have survived somewhere where I had to go into training for months and months and on. Like, I would have been very discouraged. Like, it's kind of similar to your, like,
Yeah.
you get
Mhm.
a little more hands-on training, but I think everybody's a little different because you really do kind of start out feeling like you don't know nothing. You don't learn anything in school.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Not for day to day, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They
I
teach
don't
you everything
know.
what not to do, but day to day, no.
I'm also licensed in North Carolina, and I feel like their schooling is, like, actually beneficial learning. You know what I mean? You actually kind of can maybe do a transaction after you take North Carolina classes versus Virginia's. I don't know if I should be saying all that, but that's how I
We'll
feel.
cut that.
Yeah.
That's the truth there. But yeah, I closed my first house in October, and I was just steadily doing it while still working the restaurant business. I was just
Okay.
waiting for them not to take one Friday night away from me or something, and I was going to cut that. You know what I mean? As soon
Mhm.
as they did that, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
They tried to take one Friday night from me, and I was like, okay, we're done.
And then you
Okay.
just leaped in
Yeah.
after that.
I leaped in and sold 27 houses my first year in real estate. I didn't know.
Wow.
Bruh.
There it is.
Bro.
How was that feeling, like that first sale? Like you got your license and it's like,
I only made $800, but when I say only, that was a lot then
Mhm.
to me. You know what I mean? So I was like, I took like 3 doubles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before in the restaurant
Oh.
business. So I was like, I can do this all day long. I had a lot of hands-on help, like the transaction coordinator. Like I had help writing an offer, so they had a lot of systems and things that would like help me do things. But then I started getting to the point where I was too impatient. I like everything.
Right,
You know,
yeah,
and then that's where I have to
yeah.
learn how to do it myself, really. That's where learning came in. But it was that first deal for me. That's all it took.
yeah, then you're
And
hooked.
I was hooked.
So what firm did you start off with
I
originally?
started at Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Barry Jenkins was somebody I went to high school with, and I had him show me a house a few months before I tried out in real estate. And I think that's kind of helped me to kind of lean towards real estate. I was just like, felt like there was a lot of freedom, I think, in real estate, but there isn't
Yeah.
at all. And I just started.
Yeah, no,
But
100%.
yeah, I felt like there was a lot of freedom, and I just kind of got excited about it, I guess. And he was my mentor, so I learned a lot from him. I'm very thankful for what I learned from his brokerage.
No, heck yeah. And Crystal?
What was the question again?
Question was, your first sale.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
okay. I was gonna say, I don't know. I was trying to think.
Mine was a little different because, like I said,
Oh, you got into a minute.
I had so much experience prior to. So when I started out with once I got licensed listing foreclosure homes, REO, HUD, government owned, whatever you know used to calling them. So my first transaction was an REO listing, Kansas Ave out in Portsmouth.
Hey.
You know, and it wasn't a very expensive house, so we got a lot of phone calls on that house. And it was actually the first client that I met, and it was like a buyer client. And it's such, we were talking about this earlier, it's so different to be behind the scenes, managing, running things, mentoring, training, than flipping it over to customer service sales with the client. Cause like, can't really, it's just different. You know, you're managing, but then you got to meet their needs and expectations. I was nervous too, because I'm at the office. I'm like running things all day long. And now I'm like, was in the streets, you know. The listing part was second nature, no big deal. It's what we do, manage. But that was my first transaction, so a little different than the average agent,
Yeah.
you know.
No, that's awesome. I mean, so, I mean, I know this is kind of like, it's not skipping too far ahead, but like, I mean, y'all both had obviously two different, very different upbringing into real estate. How do you think that's kind of changed y'all's, or like helped y'all? And, you know, I know that you have different strengths. I know you have different strengths, and they both come from, you know, kind of how y'all started. So just talk a little bit about that. Like, how do you feel just jumping into the field, how that helped? And then you learned a little bit more on the back end prior to just, you know, so how did
I
that?
mean, you hear it all the time. We're like yin to the yang. That's my boo, Pinky and the Brain.
I was about to say, welcome
Yeah.
to the live Pinky and Brain.
Yes, that's what it. You know, we started
I'm
out
Pinky,
as
she's Brain.
we started out as business partners, but it was really because I don't want to say everything that we lack. It was just like her strengths are what I need, and vice versa. And you don't realize that until she's just special, and in the way that we connect and click. You know, you would have never you would have never put the two of us together as a match because we're that different. But our end goal is exactly the same. And so that's like a different
Yeah.
beauty in itself. And we didn't know that in the beginning. And it's given me chills because
Yeah, you're
working
gonna
together for
cry.
like 7 years, you've heard us talk about this. You discover each other as you go. Even in this business relationship, we've come family.
Yeah.
And
She said
Um,
something great to me the other day. She was like, neither one of us were looking for new friends. We were like, we're like anti-new people. And like,
Here
you
we
couldn't take
are.
us apart.
yeah.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so all right, so we sold first home, or we're trucking through real estate. At what point did y'all meet each other during the process?
So I met her when I started. We met
Yeah.
at Better Homes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I met at Better Homes and
Okay,
Gardens. So
okay,
right
so-
where
okay.
she started, I
Mhm.
was there. But the interaction again was different because she
She-
came in under a team. I was managing the firm, so it wasn't with direct agents. You know, I'm handling everything.
I was
But
actually
she was
intimidated by her.
She was the rookie of the year though. Like,
Uh,
and it's
but I didn't
so-
know I was doing anything.
She didn't. You know, I mean,
I was
27
clueless.
houses in your
27
first
homes
year,
later.
and you have no
That's
like real
insane.
estate experience. Like my
Yeah.
girl
Yeah.
was doing things she didn't even know she was
I
doing.
didn't
You
have a
know,
clue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I think her not knowing like took away some of that fear.
It did because I
And
didn't have.
she was just
I was being it was just natural to me. I felt like
and even after that, we had interaction with like, you know, what needed to be done within that firm, but not with like with her transaction or her business or her dreams or her goals. She, like she said, she was on a team. She actually left Better Homes and Gardens and left with a team with another partner. Fast forward, within the next 6 months, 9 months, we had lunch a couple times. Very stubborn. And
she said she
um,
was not.
I wasn't doing it. I wasn't going back
she was
into
done.
sales, and you know, real estate can test you. And she was like, no, 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 no. Long story short, we didn't begin together, but we ended together, and so that's how we started.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I left and started my own team,
Thank you.
she kept on denying me at lunch, and I was like, no, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. And then I don't know how.
And it was really just supporting her team at the time.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, you know, we're a brokerage now. That team is dissolved, and we're a brokerage now, and we would not. It was not planned at all. Completely organic. She kicked and screamed a little bit because I don't want to say kicked and screamed, but because it wasn't planned to open a brokerage. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this has been our dream. We're gonna do it. It's like, well, you get a little scared with that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you get taken advantage of one
Yeah,
Mhm.
time. I think this is jumping firms. This isn't the same firm as mentioned earlier, but
yeah.
yeah, just being taken advantage of, and then kind of didn't. We interviewed a lot of places, and it just wasn't our fit. You know what I mean? Because yeah, it wasn't our fit, so it was the best
That's
option for us.
Yeah.
That's how it came to be like concrete clad.
Mhm.
You know,
When
because
we
we had
couldn't find no
tossed the
fit.
idea around for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
About a year and a half before we did it. Matter of fact, it took a year for us to get our broker's license, and the reason we got it, again, yin to the yang, she pulls me out, pull her, but like I'm stubborn, and she was like, I know you didn't want to get your broker's license, but I'm signing up for the classes. We're very competitive too. And I'm like, listen, I gotta sign up for the daggone classes. So we did.
Yep.
Yeah,
We did it like in a month. We did
And
it on your birthday.
Yeah, November, and like Depor licensed the firm like
Like
February
January.
1st, January.
Yeah.
So that's like how fast it happened. It was in the works. We talked about it for a year and a half, but finally just took the leap.
And now we teach the classes. We teach the broker classes
And the salesperson
and the
classes,
salesperson classes. So it's always interesting to see the people that actually get their broker's license and do like what we did, because I haven't seen nobody do it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a
Even the
huge,
people that were in our class.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a huge. I mean, that should be a huge kudos in itself.
I didn't
mean,
even think of that till just now. So that is kind of shocking to think
Kicked
of.
and screaming on that too. She likes to like rush.
Yeah, I'm
But that's
fast.
the balance, right? Like I'm a little bit hold back. Like, can we just prep plan a little bit so we can save some time? You know that.
yeah, yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
I'm all about. Where there's age difference, I'm all about saving a little bit of time and headache. You learn a lot in 17 years, you know.
I like to throw stuff.
But at the same time, if you, her pushing and pulling, and same thing when I push and pull her in the areas, it's really what, just puts us in the next direction.
I've called her so many times and be like, I've got to send like 3 emails right now, and she's like, it doesn't all have to happen right now. And I'm like, to me, everything has to happen like right now.
Yeah. And that's where me and you are very similar.
Yeah.
That's where me and you are very similar. Chris
Man's
was
like lightning, man.
yeah, no,
Like,
Chris
we
was
just
like,
talked about
yo,
this
He's
at
like
lunch yesterday.
lightning.
We
The
did.
idea just comes
And
snapping,
then,
snapping.
and I was saying this to her in the car. I was like, I used to want everything to be perfect. Now I don't. I'm just ready
Mm-hmm.
because I've had so much success with that. Like,
Yeah, no,
No, it's
100%.
true. It's
it
true.
took so long
It's
to
true.
want everything to be perfect and be nervous and like spend all this time stressing and worrying about things that could or couldn't happen, and then you just
You just do it.
it never happens as you plan it anyway. So then
Exact-
why
it
did you
does.
overthink it?
Yeah.
I don't know. So like,
No,
just do it.
no, that was great. I mean, so, all right, so you're about to open the firm. I mean, what? Just talk about some of the fears that you had prior to getting in there, like some of the doubts, or like just any like just learning experiences that you had to overcome, or like even just looking at yourself as an agent, like, okay, I got this shit. I know I can do that, because it takes a lot to get over that step of opening your own business instead of just
Running the team. Well, I couldn't do any of this without her. Like,
Mhm.
Vice versa, though.
like
you know?
she's all. We wouldn't have paperwork together. We wouldn't.
Okay, that part's true. That part's true.
Like, we.
That probably is me.
I'd probably be in real estate jail if it wasn't for her. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like,
Uh,
it was. I don't know. We were running a team, and it was already like a brokerage.
Mhm.
We already had our own space. We already had everything. So it was like, the only thing we weren't licensed in a firm name. We were a team.
okay.
So, and it's similar to some of the other teams that I know. Like, well, there's only one other one really, but yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was just
Okay.
like we were already firm-like.
Mhm.
I think some of the challenges is with anything that you do, there's going to be
Oh, yeah.
something new. Real estate every day is
Yeah.
something new, right? Every transaction is something new. Even though you're selling houses, the same product, something new every day. Growth. You can plan for that, but you it can't be perfect. And there's pains with growth. There's joys with growth. So I think that would probably be some of the challenges,
Mhm.
unexpected challenges with the firm. I think the challenges from being an agent to team to a brokerage owner, they're all going to be different on different levels, right?
It's a little hard to still sell that many homes, you know what I mean, and still run a firm at the same time too. So like, I don't work as many cold leads anymore. You know what I mean? Like, my business has changed, but at the same time, I guess the biggest fear was just failure. But like, we really don't let that be a choice, because even
Yeah.
when we do fail, we get back up and start again. So
That's what I was going to say. No matter what stage it is, I think with anything in life, it's the fear of not knowing, the fear of failure, right? You face the same fears just in different categories, depending where you are in life. So I think that just makes it simple.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you briefly touched on it. I just kind of want to ask one more time, like, what was the biggest difference between being an agent and being a broker? Just some of the different attributes that you had to learn, or new skills that you had to learn that you didn't know that, or that you didn't have to use when being an agent. that now being a broker, it's like, okay, now I'm starting to step into this
Well,
area?
now we're managing the agents instead of managing our clients. So that was a big difference for me. Because now I'm managing. It's hard for me to sit back. It's very hard. Like I want to just take the phone and take over. So that's probably the biggest challenge for me is trying to teach the agent and being patient sometimes. You know what I mean? I mean, some just click. You're one that just clicks. I mean, us meeting and just I knew from day one you were going to be great. So like, I don't know.
No,
It's
that's
just
awesome.
we didn't even talk about that at
I
all.
know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
that's
it's
like
a
a
side
unique-
tangent. Like,
That's
how
a
did,
unique
how
story
did
in
Devin come
itself.
about? How
Yeah,
did
yeah,
Devin
yeah.
come
We went
about?
to Free
man?
Pie Wednesday.
Shout out Village Inn. Shout out Miss April. Shout out Stan.
Shout out my best friend Nene.
Shout out
Yeah.
Nene.
She wanted her free pie that Wednesday. Was
She
it a
told-
Wednesday
yeah,
or something?
it's Free Pie Wednesday. That's how
Free
I
Pie
know now.
Wednesday, yeah.
And Devin was our server, and he's young, and he has skills. Like I can't stand like just coming from the restaurant business. You know, when you go into, you see it too.
Mhm.
We go out to lunch, and if there's a bad service, like
Yeah.
it doesn't leave my mind. I'm like, the other day we went somewhere. I won't even shout them out right now. But
Yeah.
the
Don't
food
go
was
there.
decent, but at the same time, like.
Wait, are you talking about when it fell on the table and she said 5-second rule
Rule,
at the
yeah,
restaurant?
No, that's
dude,
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
bro.
5 second rule
She
to
was
the food
putting
that
down
dropped.
the plate. It had pitas on it. The pita fell off. She literally looked at it and said 5
5-second
second rule. And I'm
girl.
thinking,
Don't take this back.
if you don't get me some more fresh pita,
And then they didn't even like welcome us. They just like grabbed 3 menus and 3 silverware and walked past us. I was like, "Are we following you?"
Oh.
And then, like,
anyways, this is not what Devin did.
Yeah,
no.
Devin did
Free
not
Pie
do this. He read
Wednesday.
the room. He asked if you needed a box. He cleared the table. You don't wait for somebody to ask for the check. You're already there and ready, and the table's not dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just you don't bring somebody. You can tell when somebody doesn't want to sit a certain section. Don't sit them there. You know what I mean? It goes back to even the hostess. It's the whole entire staff, you know, working together.
Mm.
It's the mess when the server has to come up and be like, "Did you want to go sit outside, or did you want to sit here instead?" Like, it's being able to read people. You know what I mean?
And he was doing this in like a high-paced restaurant, like a Village Inn,
Yeah, Village
especially
Inn
in the
is-
No, it
morning and for
was.
brunch. It's like backed every single day.
And I was like,
know,
"You'd be
so-
great at real estate."
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Is that what you said? That's
Yeah,
That's
that's what she
literally
said.
is how it all
That's
started.
And-
state, bro. That's
Yeah.
Wait a
He was
minute.
already in the class.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute, let's go a little further though.
Yeah,
Let's take it a little
yeah,
further.
yeah.
So then I invited him to the Christmas party
Yeah.
right after he got his license, and I was like,
Well, you skipped a part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the important part.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I had signed up for classes on that Monday, and then Wednesday I come to work, just working. I had been there 4 years or 3 years, and then I was waiting on them, serving them, and then they're like, you know, Devin, you should be in real estate. And I was like, that's crazy. I just signed up for classes. So that was just like
That's
another
crazy.
reaffirmation of like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm doing
Yeah.
the right. I'm doing something right. So let me stick with that. So,
And so she can get back to her story. Is he listened, he reached out, and then he switched his class to our class.
Mhm.
Took the salesperson class with us because we teach classes.
didn't.
Um,
We'll let her say that story though. She
Yeah.
has that in her head.
yeah, I mean, so I came to a couple of the classes.
Oh,
I
that's
came,
what it
I
was.
came to a
Okay,
couple
you
of the
came
classes.
to the class.
Yeah. So,
That's why we need each other.
Cut that, cut that.
She's
It's like-
plugging her
Yeah,
sales
yeah,
class.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
but you were at the classes, okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
then so he did.
Yeah, and then I invited him to the Christmas. I thought I had him. Like I thought for sure he was
So-
with me. Like because I
I
already,
got licensed
I
in
already,
December.
yeah, I already was like, that's our dude. Like I gave him a shout out. Like he knows he's meant to be in real estate. Like he's coming with us. And then little did I know I had some competition. And got him the Realty Source sweatshirt with his name on it for the Christmas party. Got him everything.
Bro,
And then he
Bro.
went to another firm.
Yeah,
Bruh,
I did. Yeah, I
bruh.
did.
So-
He went to
I
another
definitely
firm.
did. And this is my thinking behind it. Obviously, when y'all first came in,
It
it was
wasn't bad.
like
It's a learning
No,
experience.
no,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
even
yeah,
have
yeah.
to do
I'm
the
very glad you
thing.
did.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a joke now.
yeah. But still, it
We
was
knew
like
you were coming with us.
you're thinking.
Because I said, "Boo, he's
It
going
was
to
a
come
fork in
back."
the road.
Yeah,
was a
no,
fork in the
it was
road.
definitely a good learning experience because in my brain I'm thinking like there's
You
no
would've done
way
it if not.
there's no way this universe is working in my favor this much to where they're able to bless me with two people who are real, who care for me, and who look out for me and see the potential that I have. You know what I mean? So I'm like, there's no way they're giving me a sweater, and I don't even like really know them like that. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay, now
They're
I
giving me all
see.
this
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, dude, there's no way this is real. So I ended up going with another firm, and then being in that firm, I was like, 3 months in, I was like, man, there's no way. So I was
Called me
like,
up.
I had to, swallow my pride and like, Rachel, Crystal, what are y'all doing?
I
I
made
was
the
like,
wrong
fucked
decision.
up. I'm
yep,
so
yep. And then they were
sorry.
like, Devin, we knew you were gonna come back
Yeah.
anyways. I was like, bro, this makes it 10 times worse, bro. But it makes it 10 times worse. I'm like, man,
We wanted to
but-
see you drown a little bit
Yeah,
before
no,
we got through you to life.
But
man.
he saw the but that's what I couldn't have done is how
Mhm.
you started. I couldn't have
Mhm.
started out the way they started out. There's different plans for different people. There's different brokerages the way they start out agents, you know what I mean? And their way of starting out is a little more hands-on training, no money income at first,
Cold
you know what I mean?
calls.
You know what I mean? Just really like starting with the dirt.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. I didn't have to start with the dirt. I feel like I don't know. I
Yeah.
probably was the dirt, and I didn't even know it was the dirt though,
Yeah.
because like I was just thankful, and I feel like that about you even like.
Mhm.
You know, my mom's in real estate also, so my mom's also
Yep.
always,
Shout out Brenda Lewis.
always
Shout
loving
out
on
to
Devin
Lou.
too. So, but she gives you little tidbits every once in a
Yeah.
while too in real estate. So,
Yeah, no.
but that's one thing. She's like, it's when you think about even these low end sales or going to these places that are farther out or whatever that cost more. Some people complain about that, but like, real estate has been life changing. You know what I mean? And like, it's worth going. It's going to pay for your gas tank and it's going to pay for dinner. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
it's
It's
worth
definitely
it.
worth the investment. for
Yeah,
sure,
it's definitely
absolutely.
worth it. So
You can't put a price on skill, learning, experience,
yeah, no, it definitely
Um,
is.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there was time that could have, but everything happens the way I'm a firm believer. Everything definitely happens the way it's supposed to. But this is a
Yeah.
very special story.
Happened for a reason.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
story because, like
It
you
was
said,
very-
everything kind of just that week. You like signed up for the class. You went to work. You met two amazing brokers, and then bada
Just
bing,
us.
bada boom. 2
Man,
years
it's-
later, now we're here doing a
Yeah,
podcast. Like
for
that's
real.
full. Like that's amazing,
So,
man.
we didn't even have that in there anywhere, so that's
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
cool.
no,
Yeah.
no. So it's really awesome. I learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot. And I mean, but I definitely just want to go right back to y'all because, like, I mean, I don't like talking about myself too much. I don't really like talking about myself, but I end up meeting Crystal and Rachel. But prior to that, y'all had already been in opened up Realty Source for like what is that 2 years?
Mhm,
2 years at that
some
point.
change, yeah.
Okay, so and then like all right, 3 years, and then I mean, so what are some of the things that you had to learn that first, second year being or being a new firm in the industry? I mean, are there any just advice, or is there anything that y'all had just taken away? Any just challenges, lessons, just things where you're like, holy, like this is real, or just like some tough moments? I mean, really, just anything.
Yeah, like maybe
yeah.
like the biggest hurdle and like the time where y'all felt like the biggest success. Like wow, we really climbed this mountain. We really finished
We
this.
probably have two different perspectives on
Yeah.
that, I think, but mine would probably be like there's no roadmap, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm very thankful for having her because I'm not the computer girl. I don't get into the drive, you know what I mean? Crystal's got everything in the drive.
The drive. Yeah.
Like, so that's probably nobody tells you how to do this. Like, nobody tells you I don't know. There's no
Well, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're fine.
I think the biggest challenge is like we are there, so there's like nobody above us. We have to get like legal help after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
coming from agent, whether you're having a team and then you go open a company, and I say that loosely because no matter where you are, there's always support. But it really is buck stops here, and then we gotta you gotta pay somebody for the next level.
Yeah.
I think that's was
Yeah.
the biggest challenge because we had done everything else, and that's what led us to where we were. Like I said before, all the other challenges, anything new, any growth, anything you're doing for yourself is all going to be the same. But being that one, that the last person stop was my biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And
They expect
It's
you to
just
have
a
all the answers
reality,
once you're at
yeah.
the top. So that's very interesting how they expect you to have all the answers.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, I definitely, and just like one of the main things that I really just want to highlight is, Realty Source. When y'all are just starting it, I really just want to learn about the mission statement behind it. What was y'all like? What were you envisioning prior to you opening it? What did you want your firm to be about? What did you want to portray to the people in the Hampton Roads area, or just to the
That's
world?
a good one. Really though, it's like
2 up, 2 down. We're locals.
Yeah,
Giving back to
uh-huh.
the community, just being genuine, and real.
I would rather help that first time home buyer than, you know what I mean? Well, it's not that I wouldn't want to help the investor because I'll help anybody really, but at the same time, that first time home buyer, the person that didn't think they could buy a home, like that's very life changing to me. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, that's I don't know, just knowing that somebody is able to do that. I don't know. It's just I guess that's really what I like. The biggest thing for me. I really don't.
But
have
when
a-
that person like through the dark, like
Mhm.
they've never done this before. It's like
Yeah,
their
no, and
first
a lot of them don't think it's
home.
going to happen, or their parents never owned a home, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or they maybe moved all their whole life growing up every 6 months.
Mhm.
Like, so that's just amazing to me when you see somebody like change their whole entire family's life or secure something for somebody.
And I'm gonna ask, is that like one of the most rewarding parts? Is that what keeps you going? Is that what has kept you going through all these years? Just like what brings you the most joy from doing what you do? Why do you wake up every morning showing up to work? And
I
you know,
actually enjoy real estate. Like, I definitely think it's not every day enjoyable, you know what I mean? But at the same time, even on the worst days, it's better than anything else I think I could be doing.
Amen to
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
amen
Amen
to
to
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's definitely changed my life, like I can't believe how far it's brought me, and I've only been in it 11 years, even at the 10-year mark, the 9-year mark. It just blows my mind that I've been able to accomplish what I've accomplished. And like, there was a long time that I didn't think it was anything. And now I'm starting to see I've done a lot more than I expected I could ever done. So I think I, I enjoy real estate. So I don't know how much more to say to
Yeah, you
that.
definitely gotta enjoy it to stay in it. Um, like what keeps me going is it's never the same day, even though it's the same day, if that makes sense. You know, um, I couldn't wake up and do the exact same thing every day, and you can see that, like this job definitely affords you the opportunity, not in the same way you are, but I definitely like the challenges and the differences, um, and of course, giving back and stuff. But the challenges is keeps my interest.
okay. So this is not like off topic, but like do you have like any like client or like that sticks out or like a crazy story that just sticks out in your brain where or you don't have to name drop, obviously you don't have to name drop, but just like any like experience that you have where you just like want to either pull your hair out. I mean, I know this happens like, multiple times a week, but like just one that just sticks out where it's like, dude, this time in this situation I learned so much of what not to do or, you know.
Well, you learn what not to do, and there's some things that it was not your fault at all, so you just go along with the roller coaster. But yeah, I bought a greenhouse before. I bought an island before, a kitchen island. Those little things like not double checking, like if it had wheels and moved. The little
Yeah.
things in real estate that. But I think the funniest story is I was telling Crystal this one the other day or today even. Uh, when somebody buys a house from you, they think they really do. If you create the right relationship, they really do
This
think
was
you
a
have
good
the
one.
answers to everything. They think you're the go-to for everything, which that's what you should be doing in the real estate business.
And we are the go-to. We have the answers.
But this we did not have the answer to. So they literally are leaving voicemails on our phones and their lender's phone, and they're like, the house is burning down. You hear you hear the ambulance and the fire trucks like coming by, but it's the next door neighbor's house that's burning down, and it's starting to melt the siding of their house. So
We were the first person they called. Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah, so
they
you
didn't
know
know what
you're
to
like
do.
911.
Call 911.
Yeah.
Call.
like all of them were there. I guess they didn't even know who their insurance company was. I guess they were already onto the insurance company like right when the fire trucks are there, like while the house is still burning.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what in the world? But yeah, that was very funny. Me and the lender were definitely cracking up on that one.
Yeah, that was crazy. It's burning and they're calling.
And then I always think your story's funny too
I
when
even
you were
got
showing the REO and opening your car door.
Oh yeah, I was in a great part of town and I was getting out to inspect, vacant property and go to open my car door and it's like this homeless dude on a bike and he like runs into my car door. But he pulls the flip phone out of the big puffer jacket, says he can call the police because I didn't hit him with my door.
Yeah,
The REO days were crazy. I had an agent one time, like they showed up at the house, the guy literally comes out with a shotgun. I went and knocked on a house, and this was the house I was at was in a great area location, but it's like screen door and the dude, and you always have to do an occupancy check because even though homes are foreclosed, it does not mean that people have moved out.
Yeah.
So you get assigned a property, and the first thing you do, you got to knock on the door and check. The dude's like, "I'm gonna let you know I got guns in here." I mean, it's very common. that I was showing a client one time. This was just funny. I don't know why it's so funny to me, but there was a glass sliding door, and the husband was going to go out to the back patio, and it was a very clean sliding door. And he walked. I mean, I thought the glass like buckled like this, and he immediately went like this, and the blood just starts coming, and his wife is there. And at first, I'm in like shock, like, oh my God, is this guy okay? Two, is this glass about to break? But then the wife just out of nowhere says, "It's all right, he's a bleeder."
Yeah. I'm sure that's happened more than
I
once.
love this house.
They bought the house.
They bought the house.
They bought that house. Now we did go see 2 or 3 afterwards, and I laughed from that house to the next show
Yeah.
because just the it
There's something
was
memorable
but
about that first one.
they ended up buying that house, and every anniversary, you have a yearly anniversary on there where they bought their home. Like, we joke about them, he's a leader.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My mom was showing a house that was in the middle of a shootout one time.
Oh yeah, and with the clients though, and they were there for like 2 hours. Or
Yeah, they
something?
had to stay in the house like while the cops investigated it.
Safe to say they didn't buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
they
did.
she thought she
Probably
lost
did.
the client too, but they came back and still bought.
Yeah.
Just bring up a bulletproof vest next showing.
Yeah, so it's always
Market value of this house has dropped a little
Yeah.
bit. Interesting.
It's always very
Yeah,
interesting.
there's stories for days like that.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is real estate, you never have a dull story.
No,
Oh no,
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 not
at
ever.
all.
And you
ever.
just stay learning. That was probably one of my
Mm.
aha moments is when I asked my leader at the time that had been in the business 20 years that question. He didn't have the answer. And then I was like, I think that gave me a little bit of confidence, actually. You know what I mean? Like, just because they're the leader, they've been here this long, doesn't mean everybody has all the answers. You know what I mean? And then once I accepted that, I think I was ready to move up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're never gonna
that's-
know it all in this business. I mean, in life, but in this business especially. Devin, you've got seasoned very quick.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's every transaction, he's learned about like 5 or 6 like major this is and it's nothing that he's doing. It's just people,
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
People be
Yeah,
People
no,
being
100%.
people.
Yeah.
People be people. And
People really do be people.
Yeah.
And it's getting even more peopling-ish
Yeah.
out here.
and you're not able to experience the people if you ain't
Yeah.
doing nothing to be able
And
to experience the
especially
people, too,
being in a
so.
military town here, we literally are selling houses to people that aren't even here. Like one of our agents right now, his buyer is like said he was just in the middle of a battle in the middle of the Red Sea. Like we got because we have to get alive and well before people can close on a house. Like
Yeah.
so many military buyers aren't here when they're closing on the home, and it's like a power of attorney. You know what I mean? So they still have to get somebody. You have to have something from the ship saying that they're alive and well and they didn't die out on duty somewhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because then they're not buying a house.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
as much as fun as it is, there's like a lot of like
Especially being in a
nitty-gritty the
military town
background.
here.
Yeah.
Like it, and us being a military town keeps our real estate totally different than anybody else's. Like you can't
Yeah, it does.
compare us to
On
anybody
market.
else's market when it comes to us being a military town. So
Do homes go faster probably since people are constantly moving or?
it's just when the market crashes in other places, we don't crash the same. You literally have a town. We have one of the largest military bases, and they have access to a VA loan with no money down on homes. So like,
And
I don't think people realize what advantage. And
the
they have a
government's
housing
not,
allowance.
stopping
Yeah.
their PCS and all of that. So they have to move. So it's, not a choice. So that keeps the market moving on all seasons more so than, markets that are not located near military institutions.
And we're also like a melting pot. You would be surprised at how many military people want to choose to stay here after their time is up. You know what I mean? In the military, like the people that I just met last week, they want to stay here. They're out of the military now. They're done doing their however many years they were in there, and they choose to stay here. They actually love it here. They want to stay in the Ocean View area. Like
Great area.
yeah. So
It is a
people.
great area.
That's another one of those large bases areas. Like you're gonna find a lot of military people there. Like I was just telling her about my other listing right now, like in Great Bridge. There's still a lot of military out there, but it's not the same.
No, that's awesome. So here's one thing that really drew me to the firm that we all work at, Realty Source, shout out Realty Source, is that how close and compact everybody is. It's like whenever I was coming in, it felt like I was coming into an already established family because everybody who worked there for the most part goes deep into whether it's you came from Brenda or whether Alexis or whether it's Robbie or whoever the case may
Yeah.
be. Y'all all go way back. So just talk a little bit about having your mom, having your daughter Alexis on the team, and kind of just how how you experienced that.
Well, I
watching
kind of
their
always
growth.
planned that. They didn't really plan it so much, I don't think. But even when I first started in real estate, I always planned for my mom to be on the team I was on. You know what I mean? Like that was my main plan. I didn't really know if my daughter was going to do it so much.
Mhm.
That younger generation, you never know. Sometimes I feel like, but I'm very thankful for it. It's fun and it's also not fun sometimes. I guess I could say, you
Yeah.
know, being that close with my mom. But me and my mom are very close. Um, I'm very thankful for it. And like I said, it's pretty much changed my whole entire family. I'm thankful that my daughters chose this too. Um, I just I have a lot of faith in real estate.
I think you
So
were in real estate a couple years before they got licensed.
oh
Right.
yeah, I've been in real estate
Yeah.
for quite some time before them.
And then
So
they finally decided to join.
my mom was real estate years ago when I was young, but she never did anything with it.
Mm.
And
We joke with Brenda, she's like on her third retirement.
Yeah.
now my mom was top agent too the first year of
Yeah,
Realty, so
yeah.
it's like
The-
she was
the
out there.
Apple does not fall far from the tree.
So no, my mom's killed it in real estate. I don't even know how
Mhm.
many transactions she did that first year, but she did.
I don't remember right offhand.
Kicking ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she did.
yeah.
She probably did more than me. Is what I was going to try to say without saying it, because
We did check one time because that's
I
how
think she did
competitive.
beat me.
Yeah.
I think it might have been like 1 or 2 under though.
Maybe I don't know. She
'Cause,
was pretty
yeah.
close, but
Dang.
my point
But
is,
it was very close, yeah.
and price points went up, of course, because it was years later.
True.
So she did better, and that's another thing I said about like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
No.
it.
I mean, it's just super inspiring to see. I mean, just how many people not only just like believe in you, but I mean, that's hard to do for somebody just kind of just say, screw whatever I'm doing and just jump in on board and believe and just trust what y'all are telling them and trust the process. I mean, it's definitely inspired me. I'm super, super inspired by y'all. I love to have y'all in my corner always. And it, like y'all
We feel the
y'all
same.
really made a huge,
Thank you
huge
so much.
impact on
We appreciate
like
that.
what I'm doing and try to get my mom on board now. I'm trying to
That's
do
what's
what
go-
y'all are doing. You know
we
what
put
I mean?
it in the
Like,
universe. It's going to
He
happen.
talks about it all the time.
Well,
He's going to have his own team. He's going to have his own company. My
That's
man's
what we-
transfer and he's going to his, state that he wants to, Florida. Like, you give us credit, but like,
That's a lot,
it takes a village, but you have to have somebody that's determined and wants it and that has drive and grit and you have all that. And I don't mean to say anything about the younger generation, but like it's very unique for somebody to have as much want and get up and go and just like
You're doing multiple jobs too. Like you're pretty much. I always say you remind me of me too. Like
Yeah. You do wonderful things. We couldn't do it without that. Like we can only bring someone so far. It has to be your vision too. We can't want it for you. And I think that's what makes a great match. And that is part of what like you ask like some of the challenges is sometimes I don't want to say that we overinvest, but we can want things more than others and we can do more that enables them not to do so much, and that's kind of been the learning curve. Because we are small knit. We are family. We are going to show up and there's nothing that you can do that I can't do and vice versa. If you're doing it, I'm doing it. We're going to be in the trenches together. And we are moms, and I think sometimes we go above and beyond with that motherly
Kinda
thing,
motherly.
So that is also a curse though, because you can't pull somebody into something.
You can't.
And I think we see stuff in people though. We can tell with you, it's a funny story with the free pie Wednesday, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
But you took the steps, you made it happen. So it's got to be that equal part. I'm long-winded. I get,
We talk about that all the time, man. It's
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
you put like when you want something and like somebody trying to give you something, you got to put in like the equal amount of energy. And it's like sometimes you may be having a bad day, and that's when the other person kind of reaches out a little more. But it's like a tug and pull.
At the
Man.
end of the
It
day,
really
it's
One
is.
person can't just
We're
pull
great
you
at that,
across
though.
the finish line. It's like you got to run your ass off, and they got to also invest in you. Kind
yeah.
of. So, it's
no,
really-
that's where I feel like Crystal and I do balance each other out and push and pull each other.
Heck yeah. So, couple more questions. Just one. If you could give yourself any sort of advice, like without foreshadowing too much, to go back to that Crystal working at the bar or Rachel working at Surf Riders,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell them without foreshadowing too much? What advice would you give yourself?
What, somebody's wanting to get into real estate or just starting real estate?
Or just you, like if
Or
you could
just
go,
in like,
yeah.
oh, tell
or
what
just,
would I tell
yeah,
myself?
yeah. What would you tell yourself
Oh,
20 years ago?
shush, that's a good one, man.
I would have
20
started
years ago.
sooner.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think about that too, and I almost think I needed my time to learn what I learned in the restaurant business, and I think that's what's given me my people skills that I have So like it's kind of was probably God's plan and not my plan really. I hate to say that, but it's probably the real truth. Um, because I don't think if I didn't do my time in the restaurant business, I wouldn't have my customer service skills that I have or my people reading skills and stuff like that. And I feel like that's what helps us so much in real estate business. I want all the good servers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
The good
absolutely.
customer service servers.
I think 20 years ago, I probably would have told myself and anybody in life, know your worth. Know your worth.
Yeah.
Every day we're above ground. It's just,
You can stay in
it's
a
a
you
blessing,
can stay in the
man.
wrong place,
Yeah.
not knowing your worth.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that equals time. So, and that goes in, it doesn't matter what aspect of life, just know your worth.
Yeah.
And, you know, be confident in that. Whether how broken, how imperfect it is, you're still worthy. You know, and I think 20 years ago, that was what I would have told myself. 20.
Oh, that's awesome. That's deep. And that's what separates you guys from a lot of the people that I've been in, like, or just, working with in real estate, or just like in general, like, majority of the times you're working for somebody, they don't see a lot of the potential in you. All they see is, okay, this person can make me money. This person can make me money. How long can I just make them happy, but also just keep them going? But as soon as you stop making the money, or as soon as you stop, hey, I'm thinking about leaving, I'm thinking about getting another job. Y'all aren't preparing me. Y'all aren't preparing anybody that we work with for y'all have to stay at Realty Source in order to be successful. Y'all really invest in the people. You guys really just want what's best for them. Y'all are really just trying to, real estate aside, just people being people. And that's what drives me to y'all. That's what I think. It's just organic. It's not like I got to go in there and, even every day I go in there, it's not, like we're going to have the best conversations and we're going to have like, everything's going to be so good. There's been times where I'm like stressing or y'all are stressing but like, the end of the day, it's like all about communication. It's all about just being real. It's about being people, because people, you can just act like a title, or just too good for anybody, but y'all are like, I feel like y'all are with me at all times of the day, even though with all that y'all have accomplished, you know what I mean? So
We're family.
y'all are family. Like y'all are my moms, y'all are my
village.
second moms.
The
y'all
village,
are-
no pun intended, the village.
Yeah, no, the
We
village.
tell them this all the time though. Like,
Yeah.
The village.
we
And
say
we-
in group text,
yeah.
we are like all family. And like when he's mentioning Robbie, I've known Robbie since middle school. So like we're all very, very, I don't know. We don't have too many outsiders. I guess what we can really
Are
say.
y'all from the area, the 757?
Pretty much moved
Pretty
here
much,
in
yeah.
elementary school. I mean, with my age, I consider this my home.
Same. Yeah, me too.
So
I was born in the mountains, but I've been here my whole entire life.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I have like three more like super quick questions. All right, so like where's like a dream location, dream vacation that y'all want to go on?
Well, my screensaver for like 8 years has been Greece, so I'm gonna stick with that. A couple other little places. I promised my daughter a trip to Hawaii, so like, but then when I started researching it, I mean, there's a lot. Like, I need like a month there just to even like touch base.
Yeah,
You know?
there's a lot to
There's
do.
a
in
lot
these
to do
places,
there.
yeah.
I love the nature, so but I'm gonna stick with Greece. I'm gonna say Greece.
Good answer.
I really like cruises. I just wish they would cruise out of Norfolk a little further than I've already done what they do.
I feel like
there.
it's coming. I feel like they're
so
slowly
I'm just
building
waiting
it
for it
up.
to go a little further. I'm not really as much as a traveler. Like I don't want to be on a plane that long or like I don't know. I guess I just want a dream cruise. I really don't have like. I need to probably work on that.
Yeah.
I have a question as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where do
buddy.
y'all see the market going in the next couple of months, years? Is that an answer? Is that a question that y'all are able to answer? Or is it too unpredictable right now?
I don't. I'm not. I don't think it's.
I mean,
unpredictable.
it's always the question.
Yeah.
Whether
it
it's
is.
how's the market today?
Yeah.
You know, how was the market yesterday? How are we compared
the
to
rates?
this?
Yeah.
What are the rates? Are the rates going to come down? Is it going to
Is
crash?
it a good time to
You
buy?
know, it depends. Are you following economics?
Yeah.
Do you follow the 10-year trend? Are you following locally?
Yeah.
Or are you watching your neighbor's house on the corner? Because it's like no matter what answer, first of all, I don't have the crystal ball, right? What I can tell you is I don't foresee rates going back down to 2% ever. So that we'll get that, you know.
Not in our
Dream
time.
killed. Myth busted.
Yeah. That everybody always wants to know that, you know.
I go back to what I already said to you earlier about just we're a military town. Like I feel like we are going to survive no matter what. We have people that are coming and going from here. They have homes to sell. I feel like a lot of people that do have those 2% interest rates don't want to sell right now. You know what I mean? So and if our military is smart, some of them are holding on to those 2% and still using their VA the second time to buy another home.
Plug,
somewhere
plug,
else.
plug.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
many options out there, guys.
Mhm.
But the fact that we are a military town like that, our local market, I don't see us like crashing out ever. I
I mean, with the recent
Nationally,
election, it
probably.
was supposed to crash already at the beginning of the year. So again, it just depends on what trends you're following.
what side
Um,
of you're on with politics.
I
Too,
don't see a
sometimes.
big
Yeah.
increase in inventory unless they do different style of building because we're limited on space,
Mm.
and that's why people are going further out. You know, that's a really big question.
Yeah,
That's probably
And,
a
and
I
I
see
don't
this
want to be the
area, like-
one that just gives the overall because
Yeah.
I'd want to find out why are you curious about the market?
Yeah.
You know, what specific are you looking into that I
Mhm.
can answer more specifically for you? Because I could be talking about economics and that's not even your field and that's not even what you meant. You just
Yeah.
wanted to know if you could buy Aunt Sally's house.
Yeah.
You know, anyways.
But that is
No,
our
that's-
probably our
that's good.
And I
biggest
like to
challenge
talk, so I could get into that.
Yeah,
That's a
that's a
long
good,
conversation.
Like, yep.
is low inventory. We just have low inventory.
Yeah.
That's our biggest
This-
problem right now.
The time to buy is when you're ready. Okay.
Mhm.
That's the
Okay,
perfect
there
time
we
to buy
go,
at the
yeah.
end of the day. Doesn't matter how the market is. If you're ready to buy, buy.
And interest rate on rental is 100% always.
Yep. Yep. No, that's
So that
facts.
should tie that whole market question up.
I like that.
The right time to buy is when you're ready to
Yeah,
buy.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And come to Realty Source.
Yeah, come to
Realty
Come to
Source.
Realty
Let us know
Source
how
is
we can
great,
help.
but-
Yeah. Last question. Where do you see Realty Source in the next year, next couple years? And yeah, what are you guys looking for in Realty Source?
Just continued growth. We definitely want to grow. And I don't see it
We
as a
always
big
wanna
corporation, but growth as in just obviously sales, but just overall.
Yeah, and just improve ourselves personally and with our business. And I love the feedback that you were giving on us, like, because sometimes we don't see how other people perceive us. You know what I mean? So it's really good to hear that sometimes, or to at least feel like you're doing something right because you don't always know what you're doing until you're doing it sometimes, or until later on. So yeah, I think just to improve and just to grow relationships and to get better, grow our referral business, to grow
Grow
our
some
North Carolina
teams.
business, grow teams. That's really what we want to do is grow teams. We
Mhm.
have that
Yeah.
in our plan. We have a really great growth plan here. So
Yep.
I think that's great. We have 100% team plan. So to have people
And
be able to do that.
Expand a little more in North Carolina. She's licensed in North Carolina right now. So we want to expand that.
Yeah, we haven't really touched North Carolina at all. So,
You had
yeah.
mentioned Florida, and I told you like
That's
before
her.
that, like I want to be in Florida too,
Mhm.
and licensed like real estate wise,
Yeah.
but both wise too.
Mm.
Maybe not full time; it's too hot in the summer for me. But I'd like to have dual
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
So growth, and that's as far as I got right now
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the
There it
next
is.
year to two.
All right. Last thing, and then we're out. What do you want the audience to know about Realty Source before we head out?
We're here for all your real estate needs.
Uh-huh.
There's never any dumb questions. Like literally, a lot of people just they hesitate because they don't know where to begin.
Mhm.
They think it's a dumb question or it's credit or something like that. I think with Realty Source, you have a safe space to come, somebody that's going to be honest with you and is going to look out for your best interest and let you know all your options. So many people don't know their options. And if you know your options, you can make the best decision for
Your
yourself.
unbiased options.
You know, and absolutely, we're here for every real estate need.
And
Everywhere.
it's not just real estate. We don't just call us if you need to
Yeah.
buy, sell, or rent.
Local
you know.
resources.
Yeah, we just had a call earlier today. It was one of my friends from high school's father, actually middle school too. But he wanted to know about will planning and like what's he going to do with his house and like
Mhm.
I had to put it on speakerphone just for Crystal to hear some of the stuff that people come to me for because I didn't. That's also it's really legal advice.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I was like, well, I can link you to my attorney, but
It really is. Come to us for anything. We're a
Yeah.
resource for the community and the local. And my friend called today. They want to sue their condo association. It's real estate related, right? So they called me.
yeah,
They wanted a will, real estate related. I mean, whatever it is, we're
Yeah.
into the community, the events, the giving back, the sponsoring,
yeah.
all of it. If you need a contact,
Or if
You
you
know,
need somebody
you
to
need
come
a-
do bingo at the
yeah.
nursing home, we do that too.
we do. Yeah, we do. We love bingo at the nursing home.
Yeah, we did do that.
Building relationships.
Yeah,
No, but we actually enjoy
I'm saying
that.
that
That's
too.
like
yeah.
those people, they they just enjoy, it's just relationships, and like we're
Mhm.
not getting nothing out of it, you know what I mean, other than just spending quality time with people. And they all come to bingo, like everybody's checking in, waiting
They
at the
call
door.
us like on our personal phone,
That's
wanting to know
it.
when we're
Where you
coming
at,
back.
though?
Yes, and like having other
Yeah.
event and wants us to be the bingo announcers, like, but that's just
At their private events, like
Yeah.
with their friends.
like we're not even getting real
I was like,
estate.
man, we
deals
might
out
have
of
a whole side business here.
Yeah, but
For real.
I don't
Really
know.
source
Like we actually
bingo.
appreciate even things like that. Like I think people think we're only here for real estate sometimes, but
Yeah.
no, we're not. We'll even be your
Here for the
bingo
community.
announcer.
Exactly, bingo announcers.
Hell yeah.
Love that.
Where can people find you?
RealtySource.info,
Mhm.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That's what I have.
Mhm.
Yep, I'm part of all those things as well. And then my cell phone number again is 757-714-6810. I'm always a call or text away.
There we go. If you need a house, if you need a restaurant, if you need anything, contact me, Crystal, Taylor, or Rachel. Or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That was another episode of the Pique Perspectives podcast. We are out.